Good morning, everybody. I am Cher, and I am in my dream trip to Scotland right now, bringing you guys some videos, and I'm breaking it all into pieces where we're just doing a video for each day or different locations. So today we are heading out to the Argyll area of Scotland, and so going to go visit a lot of lands over there. I am from Clan McIntyre, that's my maiden name, and I've done a lot of research in the area, and this is where we're near my McIntyres and that whole area. So this is a very exciting day for me today. If that interests you too, then stick around and come along with us. We're going to take you to all of the land of Glencoe, Castle Kilchurn, Castle Inverary, Oban, all of that area. So really fun, exciting day. Let's dig in and get started. All right, we're here with the girls.
Hi.
We're on our road trip. Woo! What? And we are heading, first stop is the Kelpies.
Hi.
Hey!
I mean, back in my head, sure.
What's up?
Trying to drive on the left side of the road.
So our first stop was to the Kelpies structure near Falkirk. So these were based on the legend in Scotland. The Kelpies were a mythical creature that were water horses of a sort, and they were actually created by the vision of Andy Scott. You can go inside them, and they have a tour also where you can go up in them and learn more about the architecture. And they also have food trucks and places to eat here, a nice little stop and picnic area. And here is on the inside for lunch. And then we were off more to the countryside. So many villages along the way in Scotland. I love the villages. They're so fascinating because they're all made of this stone, so much character, nothing like what we see in America. And then along the way, you just have all these little farmlands, sheep on all the mountains, lots of rural areas, but beautiful scenery. You're going to see a lot of scenery from me along our road trip. I just could not put the camera down. It was non-stop photographic views. Everything had to be documented because it was just so beautiful. As you see the sheep here along the way, this is just nothing like what we see in the States. And we came upon another village, village after village. Again, so much character. I love the history. So much charm in these little villas. And here we are making our way up into the Highlands, starting to get a little hillier and more mountainous. We were making our way towards my McIntyre lands. So I do have a previous video sharing all the history of my McIntyre clan. You can check it out. I will link it here. So this is very significant to me. We are driving towards the southern border of the McIntyre lands, approaching the Loch Awe. And the southernmost mountain range is called the Ben Cruachan, where it was the border between our lands and the Campbells. Now, we actually rented the lands from the Campbells. It was a very complicated feud. Honestly, the Campbells were kind of jerks to everybody. And it's funny because when you're in Scotland, everybody knows the Campbells as being not so great. I'm not going to say the word they use because I want to stay monetized. Hey guys, this is my number one, the place of my dreams, and we're here. Kilchurn Castle. We have a bagpipes in the background as well. I said they must be here for me, knowing that this was my spot. So we're coming in search of the Kilchurn Castle around these beautiful lands along the Loch Awe here. And Kilchurn Castle was built by the Campbells and owned by the Campbells, but there's a lot of history here amongst them and the relations between them and the McIntyres. So this is the number one castle that I am wanting to see for sure.
There it is. Oh, goodness. Wow, you can get right up to it. Oh, get on it.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hold up when you get up there and do these things.
Yeah.
Deep and spray. It's going to go over the bridge, isn't it? God, I hope so. I've actually ridden on that one.
I don't know if you guys can hear the bagpipes in the background, but they're going. Here is the castle in question. So beautiful. A wedding over here. Look at that. Right in front of the castle. And here she is. Close danger of masonry fall. So yes, unfortunately it does have the fence around it right now. Sometimes you can actually get right up to it, but we kind of came at the wrong time. But it was just such a dream to see it and in person, and this was definitely the #1 castle that kind of represented the McIntyre area for me. Here's all the lands around it. I don't know what that building is right there. Beautiful. Okay, this is Cross and Overlook Awe. I'm looking for the monastery called Argyll. It's where a lot of our McIntyres are buried as well. So once we finished with the McIntyre area, we started making our way over towards the Oban area. A quaint little fishing village was still very close to our McIntyres and all of this Argyll area. So excited to go and see it. And here we are coming into the little village. There is a monument that is constructed up at the top of a hill called the McKegg's Tower. It was never completed. It was actually supposed to be built for a pretty wealthy guy who I think died before it was completed, but you will sometimes see that big monument at the top of the hill when you think of Oban. We are in the town of Oban. Very cute little quaint fishing village. Beautiful up hills on the sea. We're gonna go look for some food. Maybe shop a little. Enjoy the breathtaking scenery. Inside the McIntyre store. Had to check it out. Then we settled in for dinner with these beautiful views of the water down below. Right, here is our view for dinner. Absolutely stunning.
You gotta cheers. Mussels. Scottish mussels. Mac and cheese. No, I mean, that's fine. You would.
I don't care. Give me your.
So one thing I learned at dinner is that they really don't tip in Scotland. They pay their workers so well at restaurants that you don't really do a lot of tip life here. So I had to kind of get used to that. And then we were on our way back out of this beautiful city of Oban, and then making our way further up into the Highlands. A beautiful drive here. I had to include it along the waterway, but we went off in search of our hotel or Airbnb lodges for the night, and these were our gorgeous views along the way. And now we are in for the night at this lodge. Here is my room. Each girl got their own room. These are like little separate houses, but beautiful view up there with the mountains back behind there. And we're gonna figure out if we need to run to the store or not and settle in for the night. Good morning, everybody. So today we are heading to Glencoe in Scotland, and it's going to be all Glencoe today. The most amazing, incredible sights. There is nothing that compares to this beauty. It's coming along with us, and we're going to get started. This day included some of the most beautiful scenery of my life. But first, we went in search of breakfast, and we did end up still eating our breakfast at the Tendrum Lodge. And smoked salmon is a Scotland staple, so I had to get that for breakfast. I'm trying to figure out pounds. So we got $11.25 I'm paying for breakfast. I've got 2 5s. And then I had to figure out change. So each of these is $1 or a pound. Oh yeah. Look at all that. We got to figure out how to use our change. I think we got it. Okay. We're getting it. And now we're on to the most breathtaking views of my life. The Glen Coe Valley. This is a very famous area because it is known for some of the most incredible, majestic, beautiful views. And you actually have a lot of hikers here too. We passed through and saw some hiking along the route here. Now, this is, of course, one of the most photographed areas of Scotland, and you can see why, because it is the most stunning views. I was just in complete awe the entire time. Did not want to leave. So much magic here. But there was also some pretty dark history as well. You have the massacre of Glencoe that occurred in 1692. This was when the MacDonald clan, who lived in the area, opened up their homes to Clan Campbell. So again, those naughty Campbells that everybody knows so well and does not speak very well of in the area. But they ended up pretty much representing the government, and were sneaky and slaughtered them in their beds in the middle of the night. 38 people, including men, women, and children, were slaughtered, and it still remains controversial till this day. The fact that you invite somebody into your own home and are being a host to them, and then they turn around and slaughter you, is not looked upon kindly. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just so breathtaking. So this massacre that occurred here in the Glencoe area is of particular interest to me in history, something I have researched a lot because it still had some relationship with my McIntyre clan. So the McIntyres are bordered along the southern edge of these Glencoe lands as well, and the MacDonalds are a far distant cousin of the McIntyres. We go way back in the history in the very beginning of our clans. So when this occurred, there were a few folks who were able to escape from the massacre and went running through the mountains. Many know the mountains in this area as the Three Sisters. And so these escapees went in search of refuge, and they found refuge among the McIntyres. Coming up on Glencoe, the Glencoe Mountain. Look at this, you guys. I think off in the distance is the little wee house that's always pictured in pictures. How stunning is this, guys? So stunning. The scenery simply cannot be matched. And we went further down, stopping at different streams along the way. And of course, it rained part of the way as well. You can't go anywhere in Scotland without it raining on you at some point. Beautiful rainbows always follow. You can see rainbows at just about every hour throughout the country, which I just love. You can really see why this is one of the most photographed places in the world. here we come up on the little white cottage. This is probably the most iconic photo that I have seen all around the internet and that you might have even encountered as well. And here it is in person, the little white cottage. So this brings us to the end of our day around Argyll and up through the Glen Coe area. I'm probably going to wrap it up for here, but stay tuned because I'm bringing you a lot of other videos in this Scotland series, so you don't want to miss it. Pop that subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.